Welcome, welcome to my lovely HP community and the 5D Collective. We have some food for thought and channeled messages for all of you who are here as empowered feminines, masculines. The 5D Collective of mystics and mindfully living peeps are aware of holding both feminine and masculine. And FYI, if you're new, it's a person who has the capacity to feel, think, and share that with ease, and not underestimate in any way, shape, or form getting to healthy self-regulation. And so knowing how to be pachas in the world means functioning as child adults and be grown-ups. That's who is 5D. So we take self-awareness, accountability, regulation, and are very much aware that we share the entire earth with 3D, 4D, so it's okay. We're okay with the lower frequency people. They're not mean. As God informed me, leave alone the 0-1-year-olds who suffer. You already know Lucifer's nowhere to be found. There's trauma experts who explain what happens to people who have brains that aren't working well because they need therapy and they don't want to go. And they're going to keep choosing not to go, so we leave it alone. And they like stories, so we'll get to that after. Okay, in the meantime, the 5D Collective, there's some beautiful ascension energies. And it is bringing empowered masculines and feminines the opportunity to remember that they have both sides, right? You have I call the divine feminine, the heart and body, and the gut. So when you can handle all that comes up, as Peter Levine points out, that's great. Now you can contain emotions, sensations, images, affects, meanings, behaviors from the right mode, which is the feminine. And that's the nonverbal part. This one's online, the first year of life. I'm attachment trauma informed, by the way. And then the left is our little chit-chatter. Yeah, the left is really boring when it's all by itself because it's the black and white thinker that wants things linearly, breaks them up, is always very much in ego. And yeah, we're going to leave the masculine alone because it's very disappointing. When there's a distorted feminine, they're masculine. They're all disappointing because it's like, excuse me, confusing shit. No, we're not. Science and spirituality actively come together to share how heaven in the body is accomplished. It's called restorative embodiment. Self-awareness, accountability, and regulating. That's what you're going to get. You don't have to. Again, plenty of people who don't like the Zen master with laundry. In the meantime, our collective does know about the importance of balancing, maturing, and mastering both your feminine and masculine. So again, divine, not divine. I choose the divine thing because the divine masculine is your integrated mind. Once your masculine and feminine are working together, because you can say, I have feelings. Yay, I have emotions. Awesome. I know how to regulate my nervous system. That's great, even better. And I know how to use my words to speak to you. Even when I'm afraid. Actually, this is what I've known my entire life, but I'm not a scaredy cat because I have a whole 3-year-old. So I'm only a scaredy cat to physical danger. Other than that, my child parts didn't die, and they're all good because I got to talk as Maria. My mother explained with equanimity how things work when I got rejected at the age of 4. You're too serious. Boys don't want that. And I was like, well, no, she didn't say boys. She just said, you're too serious. You want to sit them down and read. They want to run around in this car. So they brought my twin. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm happy at home. I like safety, physical. Totally cool with not being in a car at 4. I'm pretty sure I was on a little Ferris wheel, and my mother said that I looked at her the entire time like, why'd you put me on it? I'm pretty sure I couldn't touch the floor, and I didn't like that. So yeah, I'm a scaredy cat. I'm okay with that. Luckily for me as a woman, I can be, right? But I would hope to have more men be on the side of those of us who do know. I'll pick the man, but no, man, you're not physically safe. None of you are. Until we don't have a majority of you that stop wanting to strangle us, overpower us, and be with egos that are so blind that it's really just daunting. I don't know what the word is. It's not even disgusting. It's just more of what the fuck. Anytime I'm seeing the women and men who come together in 3D, 4D, I'm like, wow, wedding bells, really? I know that I'm not going to get texted back after they fuck me because they're going to have contempt and disgust towards me and then shame. I don't know where the shame goes, apparently somewhere, but none of these people talked about therapy. No, actually, they think that they do a better job than therapists. In fact, it's hilarious because they don't actively, but there's a million gazillion people who follow them. Even the lack of imagination for evil sentence gets, high ratings. And I'm like, that's bullshit sentence. Does any brain work out there? You can't have imagination with evil. It's actually forensic criminologist. His name is Michael Stone. He gives us a scale of evil. They're all in a prison cell, except for the 714 charming aren't. And those are all the Peter Pans that the Lost Boys like to follow around. So following the leader. Yes, that's what happens when non-securely attached people continue to follow each other around and disregard getting themselves owned. Bilaterally, vertically integrated brains are smart human beings, stable, mature, adaptive, rational, teachable. So, as I was saying, we live a life of meaning and connection beyond the solo self with others as our true self. So, thanks to knowing the importance of balancing, mastering, and maturing both your masculine and feminine, you are seen, soothed, and safe to be yourself. Securely attached person. You have flaws. I have flaws. You have integrity. I have integrity. You have love. I have love. And our higher self, the grown up part, your prefrontal, is leading the way. Not you reacting. Not you bringing your asshole attitude. Okay? So, to live a life of meaning and connection is what we get to do, again, beyond the solo self as yourself with the 5D frequency and state of consciousness, which involves embodying the body's state of safety and connection. You anchored in ventral energy and using an integrated brain, again, to explore your own thoughts, emotions with healthy self-regulation. That allows expansion of consciousness and healthy self-worth relationships to grow, which is why the inner growth mindset, mindfulness, and mindset practices support you, because you continue to expand the capacity to grow more bliss. If you want, you don't have to. Some people say, I want to do personal development or spiritual mastery. I want to lose people. I want life now. And you say, okay, there's a Zen master for you. In the meantime, for those who are ascending in the 5D collective's way, the empowered feminines and masculines are giving each other the opportunity to engage with each other on themes surrounding emotional charges and depth, fear, vulnerability, and heightened sensitivity surrounding past or present experiences that are bringing up important evaluations alongside profound emotions. The 5D collective of mystics and mindfully living peeps are learning to disengage from the body's protection mode, projecting or suppressing emotional charges in dysregulated and modulated embodiment, and finding new habits to stop adaptive and maladaptive patterns of behaviors and mannerisms. We are learning to be in the body's safety state in connection, anchored in ventral, and to talk about the emotional charges that come up and thoughts with open, spontaneous hearts, vulnerability, authenticity, and complete transparency. So, thanks to the ownership of one's sense of self and the safety each counterpart brings to the other, this is a liberating and expansive process. So, right now, there's an enriching moment for all of the 5D collectives, empowered feminines and masculines, in practice, okay, in practicality. It's not about woman or man, or it's not about they. You'll know what you are. I'm a feminine. I have masculines. Those are my counterparts, okay? And there's the divine and empowered ones, and then there's the not divine empowered ones. And they equally to an empowered feminine will always bring us this thing called, I got to learn something really good, Death Mode, huh? Yep. And that's why my facade friend is a perfect example. I love my friend to death. What did he teach me? How not to address anything with anybody who wants to stay their teenage version. Cusco, what's up, adaptive child part? Are you going to make it all about you, unbridled self-expression? Which self-fulfilling prophecy am I dealing with today? Is it the fear of abandonment, rejection? Well, what is it? Which attachment, not securely attached category are you that you're ignoring to go and get helped with? Okay, so I mean, this is serious business. Patrick Tiahan has all the time in the world, and he's sharing with people how to get healed. In the meantime, Terry Real is too, and I guess the fancy woman and man in suit are more popular than Terry Real and Patrick Tiahan. Am I surprised, Schopenhauer? No, I'm not, because what does Schopenhauer say? If you want to reach a large audience, talk to the masses. And I'm thinking, yeah, they did all run off of Facebook when that crappy, whatever that was, happened, like when everybody ran off of Twitter and all this. So the masses are people who are insecurely attached because that's called reactivity. In fact, they don't know non-reactivity and how to contemplate and discern for real. They know how to following a leader, and that's why you see them. They all flock like birds, and then they come back, and then they go, and then so. The 5D, we flock together by staying grounded in reality. Anything that comes out of any one of our mouths we know could be falsifiable. Why? Pseudoscience woo-woo lady, right here. I chose it on purpose. I'm helping people to be their self, mentor, content creator, podcast host, not academic, not researcher. And I know who they are. That's why I know who they are, and then I know who the others are. And then I know how to identify when I got people who are in the group, but they're really, half-brainers. They're so clearly cut off from pure consciousness and pure energy. Cut off from unconditional love, Purusha, and cut off from pure energy, their whole 3-year-old heart, Prakriti, because they got shame, blame, fault, revenge, and a dysregulated embodiment, which is showing to me all of their low self-esteem, codependency, and their attitude of, excuse me, you're confusing sciences and spirituality, your brain can fall out of your ass, you're a stupid person, and whatever other bullshit shit comes out of their mouth. And that's where it's like, no, I don't tell them, but I'll tell you, I do a consilience approach because as a feminine who's empowered and who loves to learn, I love to learn. And every time I love to learn from smart human beings, I can tell exactly what information is good. And I can tell when I'm getting golden nuggets. I also learn how not to listen to people who I thought had value in what their words meant. And then you learn that they just follow trending topics because of biases. It's really boring. We all have them, but I know what mine are, and I put them to the side, and I listen even when I don't like what I'm hearing because I'm not stupid. Stupidity is when you decide to ignore the fact that I don't like it and that you're doing something, which means not taking in information just because of a 14-month-old of you, which is coming from where again? Who told you that you're supposed to like or not like information? You're supposed to reflect upon it if you really want to. To become a complete skeptic about everything isn't where we're going, okay? That's not going to be anything helpful. You want to be discerning and, of course, ask all the questions in the world. But to deny everything that has come from yesterday, I mean, gosh, scientists are going to use AI to disprove reality. I can't believe it. You should meet the lady. There's a lady. She's spiritual. We need to prove spirituality like the scientists prove physical stuff. Really. 97% of what is out there is unavailable to scientists to learn about. Thank you, Dr. Daniel Siegel, which is why he believes in us mystics. He doesn't have the mystic stuff, but he says, I'm a scientist. Really, mystics and scientists explore the infinite unknown. So together we're a pair and a team. Yes, we are. And that's what is amazing about the empowered masculines and feminines. So we are at this moment enriching our lovely lives. This is the empowered masculines and feminines because we're bringing the opportunity for each to master their own counterpart from within. So for me, my masculine, for masculine, the feminine, okay? And that's to expand then the light body and the 5D frequency and beyond. That's of love. And that's anchoring in the ventral vagal and or the capacity for a person to be able to notice, I want more restorative embodiment, self-aware, accountable, regulating life. Okay, so as you gain familiarity with bringing your prefrontal cortex in and having two sides of your brain talk to each other and having stuff come up and sharing it. At this time, the 5D collective of empowered masculines and feminines, again, they are grounding in healthy self-regulation independently of relationships. That's the I own my sense of self, I'm securely attached, I'm getting there, my child parts are in charge, or I know when they come up. Okay, so they are seeing their personal growth and spiritual mastery objectives and desires come to fruition. And they are establishing one or more securely attached, healthy self-worth, soothing, and regulating counterpart relationships. The 5D collective counterparts are sharing enriching emotionally, mentally, and physically supportive moments every day, and they are definitely brightening up the day-to-day with more aliveness, love, expansion of consciousness, and body, mind, brain, heart, and self, inner well-being, and harmonization in the 5D frequency. So be yourself mindfully, spiritually, and choose what you want to fill your day-to-day with and what relationships to grow with unconditional love, flaws, and integrity. Being yourself like this means that you own your sense of self. Again, you own the mind, body, brain, and heart through the practice of being self-aware, accountable, and reflective in a way that brings self-regulation in ventral connection, your body's state of safety, and you do so independently of relationships. You choose to apply an inner growth mindset, mindfulness practices, and mindset skills so you can fully be present, because that's how you're going to be present. Integrated, that's why you're present, and you're anchored in ventral, so you're feeling deeply, and you're sharing thoughts and feeling, and you live restorative embodiment, self-awareness, accountability, and regulation. So by being yourself mindfully, spiritually, with flaws and integrity, you grow mental intelligence, emotional depth, and maturity, and enriching physical experiences and relationships. Why? Because you accept that you are flawed and imperfect. But you accept it in a way that says we all are, and so you get to have a whole self that is loved and lovable and shares that love and is in a flow state and uses good stress in life and relationships. So when you're like, oh no, is it going to go well, the conversation, or not? It always goes well because empowered masculines, feminine, that's how it works. But do keep in mind that there are groups of people and mystics and spiritual and science, public figures and experts who do not take healing trauma seriously. They don't heal the trauma charges, the adaptive child parts. They are not interested in learning about how to heal maladaptive patterns of behaviors thoroughly, or adaptive child, again, getting into a functional adult. They dismiss good therapy and the experts and the researchers' findings, and basically they're saying that they don't believe in integration, or that they don't believe that personality disorders are healable, or that mental health can support people to have heaven in the body. Or they don't support restorative embodiment, self-awareness, accountability, and regulation. And the 3D, 4D collective is what I do call them. It's my way of calling them because they're in that low frequency of shame, blame, fault, revenge, and from a body that is in this. And they do choose narratives. The ones that are the ruminating kind, they also have superheroes, supervillains, drama. They're leading from the visceral, so they have an incomplete set of knowledge, and they're ignorant, spreading rumors about yoga, Reiki, again, based on ignorance because they don't know about smart attachment trauma. Educators who are letting you know yoga, ventral vagal portfolio of toning exercises, mindfulness, and meditation, good for integration, but only if you can handle what comes up. If you can't, then it's first you go to therapy, EMDR, 12 parts work somatics, and or sensory motor, so that you can own your trauma charges and not actively be in what is going to be structural dissociation. So they are ignoring new discoveries information for reasons such as explicit and implicit biases, cognitive dissonance, structural dissociation, and non-bilateral integration in modulated and dysregulated embodiment. They're choosing a narrative over sciences that are explaining how to get healthy. And these individuals do live in the body's protection mode, and they do not want to pursue connection or anchor in ventral, which is why the minute they're around any of the 5D, they're going to be completely like this because they don't welcome their own self back home. So they don't want the eustress. They're okay with the way that they are. We get to be our true selves, mindful, flawed, integrity. You speak your heart with kindness and kind firmness, as lovely Terry Real shares. That's because depending on whatever the situation is, you can always love as a function of child adult who has secure attachment. And we definitely use mindset mindfulness to grow confidence, handle change with good stress, and that's staying anchored in ventral. So with that being said, as Sadhguru points out, if there's love in your heart, it will guide you through your life. Love has its own intelligence. He also shares with us, there's magic everywhere. If you learn how to live it, life is nothing short of a daily miracle. Very, very true. And we have our lovely Pat Ogden who lets us know about something like this. Trauma impacts the body so strongly, and the responses that the body has are often not metabolized. Okay, so people get stuck in trauma time. They can't move on from it until those responses are metabolized. That's something important, and she's of sensory motor. So when your body is stuck in the trauma response, you don't know self-regulation. A non-traumatized person is able to self-regulate. This is what that 5D collective that I was just sharing, we know how to take our emotions and talk about them because we don't hide them from ourselves, and we also don't hide them from other people. When, on the other hand, Bessel van der Kolk traumatized people tend to feel numb and not alive, and they can make themselves feel alive by exposing themselves to the same situations that cause their terror. They ignore that their first 3 years of life matter, and they ignore therapy. They have found it hard to believe that my first years of life means shit. So you completely have a bunch of people who are not going to move to becoming a non-traumatized person with a secure attachment and have the capacity to self-regulate independently of relationships. And that's because the circle of compassion does not work and does not move the energy of life if one person is missing, and that person is them. So this one's Jack Cornfield, PhD. The other one was our lovely Pat Ogden. And as I concluded, I was looking for one more from her, but we'll see if I can't find it. We'll save it for another time. My regular listeners have heard of them all. And ICABM is where you can find a lot of really great quotes and all of these beautifully amazing human beings who are experts in a bunch of different titles that I'll not ever remember all of. But in the meantime, again, empowered feminines and masculines are going to support each other to become more of their true self. And as Bessel van der Kolk, MD, points out, as long as your brain is geared to being scared that somebody's going to hurt you, you are always on the defensive. So this is the unfortunate business of people who don't open up to true love because they don't open up to their own self-love, and that means they don't open up to their own inner child. So we'll be back again with more. We're all here, inner child adults who inspire human potential because we take healing trauma seriously. We have news stories because it's not Lucifer. Nope, but the ones who will not want to be anchored in ventral, we're not going to impose that they go and get self-regulated. in their healthy self-worth. No, they don't have to do any of it, because I'm going to do soon enough to be saluted is going to get handled the way I've handled anybody who's been a facade since I was a teenager, because that's how it works for an empowered feminine. You grow more loving, you grow more kind. Well, it depends who you ask. I mean, according to this guy, I'm not kind, and according to some people, I'm selective, because they say I'm picky. And I say no, and then they say select. I say, well, am I supposed to want to hang out with stupid people? No, I don't say it that way, because my mother taught me better. I just say, I thought we were supposed to like the people we socially engage with. And I love to love, and my baby, he loves to laugh, and he loves to learn, and he loves to expand, not cast stones, and he loves to healthily self-regulate in ventral. Otherwise, where's the energy? So what you should know, or what you could know, fancy man and woman, they look great in suits. They're empty vases. And a person like me, empowered feminine, and any somatic empath will be like, okay, where's the life? There's no aliveness here. There's pseudo-aliveness. There's a teenager in the room, and there's a poor crying 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. Let me out. But you won't let him out. It's almost like that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, The Mask, where he was let out, and instead here we don't have any of that happening. It's unfortunate business, but again, let's leave it to them to continue telling you why their lifestyle is so much better, and to remember what the frequency of Earth is. I'm just going to let you all in on a fun fact. Hey, Jesus, what's up? Christ? Yes, Christ. What is it? Forgiveness. What? Love. So there you go. I mean, really. Oh, if there's one thing an empowered feminine does love to know, is that empowered feminines, we always do know love wins, because God wins. There's no worry, because the only ones who second guess every little thing, well, again, who doesn't have the body in the lead and the heart in the lead doesn't know that their left mode is really, really annoying and doesn't know everything at all. But I'm a 3-year-old who does know that. So I say, well, okay, fine. We can share the floor, have a good time. And then, so you let all 3-year-olds talk. When you find the good ones, we have a playground full of fun, and that's what our empowered masculines and feminines are doing. Thank you for stopping by. Like, share, and subscribe. Remember, email for one-to-one mentorship, email for masterclass sign-up sheet, and for workshop and retreat sign-up sheet, the spiritual kind. Also, fan base and Spotify. Paid subscription-based model content for video practical exercises if you want. Once we get to a certain number of subscribers, I'll begin rolling out with that. And we have Ask Maria, opinionated columnist episodes. It's like Dear Abby, blah, 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 blah. But it's going to be Dear Maria, and it's with personal development, mystic, spiritual stuff, attachment, depends. You all know pretty much a lot about me and a lot about my skills and what I do know. Oh, and I'm going to keep learning. Don't worry, we're adding. So continue to expand the beauty of personal development and, again, spiritual mastery and growth. And anybody who's true spirituality will know that you are your own spiritual process, but you will be awakened to it when you have an integrated capacity, because otherwise your inner child ain't coming forth, and we don't know your inner child. We get the pause self, which is full of that hurt stuff, which is the dysregulated nervous system. And like the fancy man and woman suit, all you got is basically bullshit going on in your head, which is horrible, because sensations, images, affects, meanings, and behaviors can be tended to. And so when you have a playground in your head, that's when you're going to be more here, and when you're actually able to work with it, not like the Zen master who says he has laundry. No, it's, I have emotions. I have, stuff going on. So how's this and how's that? And there's that ability for us to continue, again, expanding together. So we'll be back with more. Again, thanks for stopping by.